Yeah.
It's like the one where I'll step into it.
Just do it.
Be like, all right, I'll be a dick. What is up, everybody, and welcome into the pregame lounge presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download it right now because the man sitting over there in the striped white and blue shirt is going to make you very rich beyond your wildest dreams.
Let's do this. You guys are putting bad pressure on me. Like now I'm nervous. Now how am I going to do that?
Dude, the greatest players rise to the occasion under all the pressure in the world.
You just gotta.
You should want this. You're built different.
Built different.
You're built for it. Keep the people 5 or 6 locks and then only claim the 2 that hit. You'll be fine.
There we go.
So, of course, that's Superstar Devin. Got the man with the wind in his hair, the Peloton Prince himself.
Good to be back with you guys. Good to be back.
It's good to have you back, man. I wish you would have color coordinated. Although they are different, huh? I always forget. You have the Breckenridge.
Right.
I have the DNVR one.
The default uniform on this show is like black top and then jeans.
Yeah, it's right. It's slimming. Yeah. And then ankles as well.
Too cold for the ankles.
A guy who just got back from fox hunting with hounds. There it is.
Yeah, I got pants and a hat on for sure. Hey guys, how's everyone doing?
You don't think these look like you're ready to go?
No, they
fox?
do.
Yeah, you look like you're about ready to go.
I can't put these pants on and not invite commentary.
Or to golf with Arnold Palmer or something.
That's true. He does look like he could really golf.
That's my favorite thing to do.
So disappointed that you're not golfing. By the way, if you guys don't know, this weekend, the first ever DNVR golf tournament, I would tell you go sign up, but sold out immediately, man. I'm telling you. The world has been in peril, in a pandemic for the last 13 months. We have so many ideas for activities that we have not been able to do, and we're getting ready to do them. So you're going to want to obviously become a DNVR member. Members get first priority on all this stuff and usually discounted prices. But you're going to want to keep your ear to the ground because some cool stuff we got planned for you to reintroduce yourself to the wild and get out and have a good time. This weekend, DNVR Golf. Going to play a little golf.
First time for me in 3 years, I think.
Wow.
But I'm breaking the clubs out.
This is my third time in my life, so it's gonna be ugly. The Nuggets in Portland to take on the Portland Trailblazers. Big matchup. Let's get to some game notes, Wind.
Yeah, so on the injury front, I believe Damien Lillard and Jusuf Nurkic are both playing tonight for Portland. Lillard's been out, missed the last 3 games. Nurkic sat out against the Clippers last night, but they're both back. I feel like Portland really wants this one.
Definitely.
I feel like they've had this one circled. Division opponent, the Nuggets. They want this one. So those guys are both playing.
The Nuggets want it.
Why not? I think so.
So there's a thought here. The Clippers, obviously winning last night. That was one of the games you look in the standings, think Clippers have so many easy games. They only have a couple tough ones, and they won one of the tough ones last night over Portland. Maybe Denver can't catch him, or maybe it's unlikely to catch him. It's so early, I don't know if you play those positioning games just yet. But if you were, you might look at this and say, hey, let's get Portland up to the 5 seed.
I think the Nuggets would rather home court.
Well, they'll have home court. They're the 4 seed.
I mean, you don't want to start dropping games now, and then the Lakers get LeBron and AD back, and suddenly they're surging.
Yeah.
I think it's too early. I think you just want to keep winning.
All
That's
right.
me. That's me.
All righty. We'll see what Malone does. We'll see what the team does. We'll see where the energy is. I think you're right, though, about the Blazers wanting this one bad.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's what it seems. Austin Rivers is going to be available tonight for the Nuggets. Malone kind of making it seem like he's definitely going to play. He said, we didn't sign him for him to come here and hang out. We signed him for him to come here and play and try to help us win as many games as possible. So I bet he plays tonight. How many minutes? What position? We'll see. I asked Malone, because we were talking about it on the postgame show 2 days ago, about Aaron Gordon not playing in the fourth quarter and the 2 overtimes. We thought maybe it had something to do with the ankle. It did not. Malone just kind of rode with the guys who went on a 14-2 run to close that game and then kept them in overtime. So nothing to do with the ankle.
Interesting strategy. Bold strategies.
Hey, they won the game, so I guess it's kind of hard to call out in hindsight, but they're surprising.
I mean, at least he's consistent because, Aaron Gordon was not having a good game by any means. And he's a part of this team now, so you have to treat him like you would treat anybody else in that situation. If you're playing really bad, we have to bench you and go with the guys that are playing better. So I like that the consistency was there.
I didn't have a problem with it, to be honest. And I was actually a little relieved from Malone's answer that it wasn't the ankle.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we part of us not being around in the locker room, this or that, like we don't really know how everybody feels about that. Aaron Gordon didn't speak, of course, after the game, so we have no idea. Was he happy? Sometimes guys leave the locker room early, and it's like, all right, you get inside the locker room right after the game, and you're like, hey, where's Nurkic? Is he? What happened?
The classic move is to walk out of the locker room while Malone was doing the presser in the hallway.
Totally.
That's the veteran move.
Try to sneak out. Yeah.
The other thing of note, of course, Jamal Murray underwent surgery today in L.A. by a doctor who was described to me as the Michael Jordan of sports surgeries.
Oh, wow.
Like, this guy's done everything.
Compulsive gambler.
He did. Not in that way. He did Klay Thompson's ACL. He did Zach LaVine's ACL. He did Kobe Bryant's Achilles. So world-renowned. And he's also the team physician for the L.A. Rams, who are, of course, owned by the Cronkies. Malone said he spoke to Murray this morning pre-surgery. The doctors were apparently impressed with the state of Jamal's knee after the swelling had gone down. And it was a clean tear. So it was just the ACL, nothing else in there, just a pretty standard surgery.
That's all encouraging. Look, I mean, these types of reports, if there was something bad, they probably wouldn't tell you. This is more or less. But it is nice to hear, like, okay, there weren't any complications. There weren't any, like, it would have been weird if there wasn't an update or this or that. Right. So good for Jamal. Get well soon, man.
He posted a picture on Instagram, too, for anyone who's curious.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't really have any analysis on that.
What did you see in that photo?
5 minutes on the photo.
Did it look like he was going to make a full recovery?
His eyes were closed, so I don't know.
Well, there you go.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. This one's an interesting one. I do think that Portland wants this one, and Damien Lillard, somebody, I don't know if you guys followed this. This is a non-story, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Somebody put on there, hey, I have a lot of money or something. My house is riding on Damian. He wrote this to Damien Lillard on you guys winning 42 games, I think. And Dame replied, say less. And then somebody else replied to that tweet and was like, you're never going to do it, or there's no way. And he said something like, just watch, or I don't even remember. But something to the effect of like, I'm locked in and I'm ready to go. This is the home stretch. And let me be honest with you guys. Damian Lillard, say what you will about him, has gone on huge runs personally when his team has needed him. We remember the string of 50-point games last year. To me, this is a real test for the Nuggets, because I think Damien Lillard is going to come out swinging.
It's
Gary
by
Harris
far the biggest test post-Jamal Murray so far.
Right. And we're going to talk about that specific matchup here in a little bit. But first, we actually had another thing planned for you, a video. You should keep your ear to the ground or eyes to the ground. Is that a saying?
Ear to the ground.
Ear to the ground.
Keep your eyes up. Keep your head up and your eyes forward. Just eyes everywhere, actually, because we're going to have a video dropping sometime soon of Mr. Harrison Wind taking you on a tour of Ball Arena. Very excited for it. Have not seen this video.
Showed all the tips and tricks from Ball Arena.
Wow. Yeah, he knows that place as well as anybody. So that will be dropping out. But instead, we're going to pivot and talk about, there was a fun question on the Simmons pod earlier this week. Surprise, shocker, Bill Simmons lists Jokic as one of his 5 favorite players.
Simmons, I think, has always liked Jokic. His understanding, I think, of the Nuggets and what's going on, maybe a different story. But, for however much he goes back and forth on players, he's been a Jokic guy.
And Jokic had 2 great, Jokic has had like 50 great games this year, so it's no coincidence that he has 2 very good ones against the Boston Celtics, but maybe it kind of, pushed things in a different direction. I don't know. But I thought it was a cool thing. So we're going to talk about our personal favorite top 5 players since 1998. This is basically going back. I like it because it's the post-Jordan era, and I really do feel like the NBA, that's a good line. You can kind of cut off and be like, okay, this was different. It's also for you guys most of your lives. Dev, let's hear your list.
Am I going through all 5 guys on my list?
That's how we're going to do the list.
Right.
We're
I didn't know if it was
5.
like snake order. I've been
trying
to make up from the draft.
Yeah.
All right. So with my list, my number 1 guy is Steve Nash. That's my favorite player.
That's your number 1
favorite player of all time.
Dev is a mystery wrapped in an enigma over here.
Honestly,
I didn't even think. I thought you had a number 1 point guard. That was not Steve Nash.
Nope, that's my favorite player of all time. I've always loved it. His game is so unique. He can he shoots the ball. His vision is crazy. Like, I always wanted to play like Steve Nash, just a guy that just got everyone else involved and made the right plays. So that's my number 1. My number 2 is Jason Kidd.
Okay.
Huge on Jason Kidd. Like,
Are these all point guards? Are they
No,
all
no,
point guards?
those-
I'm curious. It could be. It's fine.
kind of, actually. Yeah, kind of. My guys are all point guards.
Okay.
Jason Kidd's just great. Two-way player.
He is great.
Just good. LeBron James, I mean, he's the GOAT. I think he's number one player that's ever touched a basketball. And just to follow, like, his career is just crazy to see, like, the type of player that he is. Steph Curry is my number 4. Like, who doesn't have Steph Curry on their list? He's, like, changed the game of basketball, really.
Jason Kidd ahead of Steph Curry is interesting to me because I feel Kidd was incredible, but was he fun?
For me, he was.
All right. He was
Dev's
pretty
a
fun.
timer.
Curry's,
Dev's a
yeah.
timer.
He
Curry's
was pretty fun. I'm not saying he
shooter.
wasn't fun, but like Curry is
I
to me.
I like the passes. The passes are big. And then also, like, don't like, it's not Kobe because I, like, ruined the Kobe experience. I'm, like, trying to go back and relive that time now.
How'd you ruin it?
Just because I was such a LeBron guy growing up. and I was like,
you did the
kind of
thing.
yeah,
You did
yeah,
the
I
thing.
did the thing, and then that messed it up. But
I
now
get it.
bit too.
Everybody grows older and realizes how dumb it was hating like a player that actually
Yeah.
did this.
man, yeah. So now I'm watching and I'm like, wow, like that's incredible. So my fifth guy is Nikola Jokic. So yes, I have 5 point
Point
guards
guard. Well,
on the list.
All right.
Like Nikola Jokic, this is the best time for basketball period, and the Nuggets, like, in particular. And I think that is just incredible that I'm able to be in this time and watch a player that's so good that I hope that other people don't go back and say, like, why did I ruin that? So those are my 5.
I see some people clamoring for Akeem Olajuwon. You know, we're doing from 98 on. Olajuwon, I think, had the 98 and 99 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, come on. Like, that was the end of his career. So it's really like a post-Jordan list. All right, Wind.
So I've got 2 of the same as Dev. Number 1 on my list is Steph Curry. Most exciting player, most fun player that I've ever watched, for sure. I've got Nikola Jokic number 2 on my list. I've got Tracy McGrady
T-Mac's a great one, man.
at number 3, 13 points in 33 seconds.
Tracy McGrady was freaking fun as hell,
he was
man.
incredible, man. Just go back and watch a Tracy McGrady highlight mix. Incredible.
Great handle, great moves, great scoring, great passing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really, honestly, like, more complete than Kobe. You know, like, more complete of a player, just about as good of a scorer, all the way up until about, like, 2006, and then it was just like
he had a quick fall.
the quick fall, and Kobe continued to rise.
So the other 2 guys I've got on my list, one of my former favorite player in the league, Dirk Nowitzki,
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
and then my first favorite player in the NBA.
Wait, so
Rick-
yours is in reverse order.
Yeah, but this guy was my favorite player in the NBA, but he wasn't my most fun to watch.
Oh, okay. I see.
Richard Rip Hamilton.
Dude, this is such a Wind answer. I can't believe it. This is the DeMar DeRozan of the early
my first
2000s.
favorite player in the league, man. Watching Rip Hamilton go around
He was
those
good.
screens in Detroit.
Of course, that's what you
go
liked. My
around
God,
screens.
Harrison won the Hustle Award in every basketball camp he ever participated
gotta
in.
love
You know he did.
He was taking manual counts of screen assists way before it was cool.
Yes. Oh my God. You know
I
what?
knew
It's
you
your
guys would
list.
like that
It's
one.
your list. You're entitled to it. The
I had to
mid-range
throw
master.
one of my like win specials.
That is. I am glad because my list, I feel like it's like sadly boring. But all right, go. Let's hear it. Vogt.
Yeah. All right. So LeBron's number 1 for me. I'm with Dev. He's the best player I've seen. I came after Jordan. So
Sure.
That's that. Jokic number 2. I'm not sure if I would have Jokic above Steph in like an objective sense, but I feel connected to Jokic like you guys do, and
Yeah.
Steph belongs to someone else. Having said that, Steph comes in at number 3. I think like just there's really nothing in sports like watching Steph Curry get hot. It's not that it's better or worse than these other guys. It's just something about the way he does it. I just don't know if that'll be replicated, man. Kobe, I related to what Dev said about Kobe as well. I'm sort of like in hindsight, you know, I realized
Like, what was I doing?
I was
Yeah.
a hater. I was
Yeah.
a hater. And then, I mean, Allen Iverson is one name I was thinking, but how about,
He's gonna mix it up on the fly to be edgy. I
love it.
love it.
I love
you know
it.
what, guys?
it.
I'm going to say Klay Thompson.
God damn it.
Okay.
Klay Thompson.
This is a great
he's my
pick.
5. Clay's my 5, so I have Kobe 4 there.
If
Kale.
you're going to watch a highlight mix,
Yeah.
Clay has like 3 of the top 10 of the last 20
Incredible.
years. If you just talk like his 37 in one quarter,
That, to me,
it's like a top 3 and maybe number 1
It's like
highlight.
watching a machine play basketball. It's watching, you know, those robots that are really good
It's
at
so true,
basketball. I was actually just watching a
so
video of a
true.
robot playing ping pong,
Yeah,
and
oh,
like
of course he was.
you play this robot in ping pong, and the robot like remembers how you play, and it gets better and better because it's just collecting data.
Wow.
That's like watching Klay Thompson.
Incredible. It really is. By the way, shouts to super producer Kale. Look at this incredible graphic work and updated in real time. This is fantastic
by the way,
stuff right here.
Just a reminder for the folks in the comments, these are our favorite guys to watch. This is not a rankings
Yeah,
list.
yeah, it's not a ranking.
Definitely not a ranking.
All right, so I'm the only one that got number one right. It's Jokic. It's like, to me, this is the easiest one to pick. All of these were tough, but this was the easiest one. Jokic, I don't remember if I brought this up on the show the other day or if I just thought it in my head, but Jokic is not only my favorite athlete, he's my favorite entertainer. Athlete, musician, movie star, director, writer, novelist, whatever. Like, you combine everything that like brings you happiness, entertainment, that's not family. He's number one. Then it's Bob Dylan.
I don't think we're biased. I genuinely think Nikola Jokic is an all-time most fun guy to watch. He's going to go down as that guy.
We just have a front row seat, and everyone else is slow to catch up. Yeah.
And it's definitely, it's like there's a richness to the experience. Like if you just tune in one night, maybe you're like, I don't know, guys. But then when you watch it over and over again, you're just like, my God. You just it's like a fine wine. You start to appreciate all the subtleties. Number two, also LeBron. I mean, he is the best player of my sort of formative years. I'm 98. I was 14 when Jordan retired from the Bulls. So I, of course, saw him. I appreciate him very much. If he was this list extended to guys you didn't necessarily grow up with but watch behind, I think Jordan would be probably number two for me because I just like his aesthetic so much. But LeBron, same thing. I followed the entire ascent. Him going to the Lakers is one of those things that just reminds you that nothing you like will last. Yeah, it'll all be ruined at some point.
Except for Nikola Jokic.
Except for Nikola Jokic, our beautiful, beautiful boy. Number three for me is Curry. Again, this isn't favorite, but this is most entertaining. Curry's like, are you kidding me? He's straight adrenaline, man. He's pure adrenaline. And to this day, he might be as fun now as he ever was, which is a crazy thought.
That's crazy, dude.
It really is a crazy thought. Number four is Kobe. One of the most important athletes, I think, to me personally, and I think as fun during a short window. But, sadly, and this might happen to all athletes, the end of Kobe's career was a little annoying. He was frustrating in some of those end years when things didn't really matter. But whatever, he was great in his Klay. And then I'm bummed because you stole Klay. I was going to take Klay as my hipster pick, and then we have another one.
You take out Iverson because they're going to kill us if we don't. Is he up there for you?
Iverson's not up there for me, man. This shouldn't be a surprise. Boris Diaz up there. I almost had him on there. I was going to get real hipster.
That would have been your Rip Hamilton pick.
Yeah, that would have been such a Rip Hamilton one. Gilbert Arenas could have also been up there. He was super. People don't remember. Brandon Roy. Also another one that was like hyper fun.
I'll satiate the comments here and give an honorable mention to Manu. People wanted to see. He doesn't crack this elite list for me, but obviously fun guy to watch.
He was a hate watch for so long.
Yeah, he was a hate watch. Yeah, people have to understand in Denver that the Spurs kind of always beat the Nuggets. So and Ginobili was a big part of it. So all of his great plays came at our expense, it felt like, and it's like, well, this kind of blows. Anyway, that was fun. Let us know in the comments, guys. I'll go back and check this out later. I'm curious what everybody else has from theirs. Moving it along, though, let's talk about vulnerabilities. The reason I wanted to talk about this tonight, and I did the podcast last night, a notebook edition. If you guys missed it, go back and check it out. But I talked about how that game revealed some important vulnerabilities. And one of those, to me, and this is a question mark, it's not a certainty, you lose Gary Harris. Gary Harris was elite at guarding the Damian Lillards of the world. You don't have that guy now. You've got Campazzo, you've got Dozier, you've got Shaq Harrison, you've got Austin Rivers. Right now you don't have Monte, but eventually you will. Those guys are intriguing to me. I'm curious how well they can defend, especially Facu and Shaq Harrison. But that to me is a vulnerability. Do you want to play Facu and Shaq Harrison heavy minutes in a series, meaning 35, 36, 37, 38 minutes? I don't know. Dev, do you see this as a major vulnerability for the Nuggets? Guard play, all-star guard play.
I'll say yes, due to the fact that there's so many good guards in the league that can really light up the floor and just score easily. And also the Nuggets have so many holes in their defense, with the three-point shooting, and the league has evolved to just all three-point shooting. So there's a lot of things that aren't answered. But at the same time, I think that it's great that the Nuggets answered the biggest thing that they need. They need a guy that stops the guys that can win a series, and I think that they answer that. Also, it seems to be more team defense oriented. Guys are actually trying to pack the paint. There's people that can shift over to other spots, and also with Facu and guys like that, they're like unknown. Like other teams don't know how to like actually like go against them. They also get in people's heads, like they're irritants, and I think that that's like something that's fun and new for right now until you figure out the next step.
No, definitely a concern. I mean, I just think back to the first round of the playoffs when Donovan Mitchell,
when you didn't have Gary Harris, what happened?
A guard who would fit this fit that category.
He's different from Dame, but he's dynamic as hell.
Carved up the Nuggets for the first half of that series, and Denver doesn't win that series without Gary Harrison. Facu, Shaq Harrison, like those guys can give you good defensive stretches, but I don't think they can give you the prolonged, defensive shutdown quarters that Gary Harris was able to give you over those last 2 games of that series. So, huge concern.
So, we all know Gary Harris has 2 players offensively, the good one and the bad one. The bad one kind of lingered for a long time. Sure. But one of the things I always think about is like, well, if Shaq Harrison's out there or Facu, like your offense takes a hit. But does it take more of a hit than if you had Gary Harris out there?
That's a good question. I mean, look, Gary was trending back towards, I think, something tenable. And that wasn't ever going to be, when I say trending back, not to who he once was, but just a guy that does 2 or 3 things. I will hit the corner 3 and I will cut, and I can do that. So I don't know. I do think there was a world in which maybe they were used to and trusted playing with Gary more than like a Shaq Harrison, which might look like a fish out of water, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally trust Gary Harris way more than Facu or Shaq Harris.
He just proved that he could do it. Like, here's the thing. Damian Lillard has not actually played that well against Denver over the last couple of years, including in that playoff series. People forget that playoff series came down to Game 7 when Jokic was the only guy on the team who made a three-pointer. Denver, I think they were 0 of 17 outside of Jokic. And if you make one of those, you win, even with CJ McCollum going off. Yeah. But Damian Lillard shut down more or less, or contained, I should say, in that playoff run. Without him, I'm just so curious tonight to see if Dame goes for 50, and it's like, wow, first time you play without Gary, and all of a sudden he goes off.
Look, when I made that trade, in a lot of ways, I felt like they were trading like matchups.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Better suited for these LA matchups, worse off for these Utah-Portland matchups. And I think we all felt that way at the time of the trade, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah. But then again, like, we didn't know if Gary Harris was going to be available to play that type of defense. He was a huge question mark, and that probably made it easier for Denver to execute that trade, I would think.
That's what makes it a no-brainer, in my opinion.
Another vulnerability I had, Dev, you can tell me if you agree, 3-point shooting, because we could talk about Shaq Harrison and PJ Dozier and Facu and guys that you don't always count on. But all of a sudden with Jamal Murray out, Denver this year was like great 3-point shooting. And you think, oh man, like this is the best they've ever been from that perspective. But now you talk about who are your good 3-point shooters with Murray out. MPJ, I believe it. He's going to be, I just would be shocked if he doesn't shoot the ball well. Jokic, same thing. After that, you get to Jermichael Green. He's a good 3-point shooter, but is he like, is it impossible that he goes through a slump in the playoffs? Paul Millsap, then you get to Will Barton, another guy who's capable of making 5. He's shooting an incredible percentage over the last 10 games. Will Barton's sneaky on fire. But in a playoff series, do you count on him to make 4 or 5 threes if he has to? I don't know.
Absolutely not. And I think that is really like a issue for the Nuggets is to not have those guys. And we've seen it in the last game, actually, where the spacing is so off. And when you have a player like Jokic, you would assume that they would put a lot of shooters around him. They would surround him with guys that could space out the floor and give him room to operate. And he doesn't have that right now, and he's still finding a way to get it done. But when you look at like the Facu shots, you look at, Barton at times, everybody besides Michael Porter Jr., they're open, and it's for a reason. That's why they're able to get so many shots up, and sometimes they fall, sometimes they don't. But in a playoff series, when it's buckled down and they're like just actually like setting you up for those type of shots, I think that's going to be an issue for the Nuggets, that hopefully like they find some type of rhythm and just have a lot of hot nights.
Yeah, I'm confident with Barton, Jermichael Green, Paul Millsap. I'm confident with those guys shooting open threes in the playoffs. Everybody else, I'm not.
Some of this, though, is volume. Like Murray's going to give you volume shooting in the playoffs. I think Michael Porter will as well. But can you get volume scoring from those guys? Even Monte, I think, is a very good 3-point shooter, but he's good on 5 attempts. If he's got to take 10 attempts,
totally.
is he? I don't know.
Well, the thing about those guys also is whatever team the Nuggets play in the playoffs, that defense is going to be fine with those guys shooting.
That's it.
Right.
Because now the game plan against the Nuggets is so simple. It's so simple. You force those guys to make shots, and if you're the defense, you live with those guys taking wide open threes. You really do.
Morris and Barton are going to have to take and make those shots.
Yeah.
And then clutch scoring. We don't really have to talk about it, but just the Jokic Murray 2-man game. Denver in the clutch. I was like, man, get it to the last 3, 4, 5 minutes of the game, and I just feel good about it no matter what. Now I'm like, I don't know. I think they're going to get a lot more of those. We'll learn a lot. They did great in the last game, but I was certain they were a good clutch team before. I just don't know now.
Yeah, Barton can do what he did last time out. You did a great job highlighting that today, Harrison, on Twitter. But is it going to be like that every time? It's not going to be as steady as Murray in there.
Yeah, and if you even go back to like the list, now you're seeing a lot more plays ran. Like they don't have a go-to. There used to be go-tos like times and spots in the game where you know exactly where it was going to happen. Now they're having to run plays. They're having to get guys in their spots. They have to like get down and run a play in a half-court set instead of just go. And then have things operate around them. So that does change things.
Yeah. All right, now it's the time where we make money. Well, Dev makes money for us. We're going to open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We're going to open up the Denver-Portland game, and we're going to take a little gander. I see the line opened last night at -2, meaning Denver favored by 2. It moved to Denver only favored by 1. Now it's 1.5.
Well, mine's actually just updated to -2.
Really?
And that's with
Yeah, I got -2 also.
Yep, that's with Yusuf.
Oh, you're right.
That's with Nurkic coming back. Like his news lost them a half a point.
That's kind of funny.
With him like being solidified in the game. This is a tough one. This really is a tough one because it's like how does the Nuggets really want it? And also we know that Portland really does want it. But also there's so many guys that Portland has over there. And I haven't followed Portland like lately, but
lost 4 or 5.
has everybody been able like to, because Lillard's just now coming back.
Yeah, he's been
we
out.
haven't seen Powell with that rotation.
Too much,
They still have McCollum, who just came back from his injury not too long ago. And they still have like Covington and Carmelo. Nurkic is always off and on. You just don't know. So this is like going to be my first time getting a complete look at them. So I'm going to stay away from the line.
I feel like it's a Nuggets loss tonight. I feel like it's a really tough game.
I do too.
Hope I'm wrong. We're going to find out.
So we'll go over to the player props where
I'm not going to bet it, though.
I make
Not a
that money.
loser.
Of course not.
I'm a freaking dweeb.
For points, this might be the highest that I've seen. Jokic at is 29.5. What they have it. That's high.
29.5.
Man, they feel
just-
Jokic scoring.
Yep, they know that he feasts on your Nurkic.
I love
They just
it.
know that
I love it.
he's lunch every single time. And then also he's only been playing. Nurkic has played like 22 minutes a game or something like that. So I'm guessing that when he's not in, they're just expecting Jokic to just go off.
Canner.
Canner.
It's Canner.
Yeah. So I mean that's
All right.
that's an easy call.
So wait, are you taking the over on that? 29.5?
I'm not going with
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say that's a lot,
I'm
bro.
not. That's extreme. That's a great night. Like I'm not going to stay on that, and it's also plus 100 on that. Just looking around, still the DraftKings is like here, just take it. They have Michael Porter Jr. at 2.5 threes. Still,
Man, they just love that.
they love it. I love it. Like I'm going to take that. That's shout out to Eric. He takes it every night. I'm on it with him.
I'm taking it as well.
So I'm going to go with that.
It also makes every Michael Porter 3-point shot just. It's already like a 100 on the fun scale. It makes it a 200 on the fun scale. Am I wrong?
no, it
you're
really
not,
does.
you're not wrong at all.
On their side, it looks like Lillard at 25.5. Like that, they expect him to come straight back from not playing for 4 games and to go off. I believe them. I really do think that he is going to go off. Like if there's one player that like backs against the wall, we need to get this win. Also, we have this one circled. He's the guy to do that. So that's going to be one of my locks tonight. Lillard at 25.5. I really do think that he tries to get going.
You set that up.
Dylan Cantor, he just gave a super chat because he has a different last spelling. He says Ennis needs to learn how to spell his name right. That's a great super chat.
That's a
great
good
super
one.
chat.
For points, rebounds, and assists, one that really does stand out. I mean, we already know I love when Will Barton has a low points, rebounds, and assists.
I was wondering when you were going to get to Barton.
Like 23.5 is his points, rebounds, and assists. And they have to generate offense through him. Like, they just have no choice. He's the one that's willing to get the offense going. He's also, like, the facilitator role. They put him in point guard, so he has the ball in his hands more than he has in a long time. I really do like Barton again at 23.5.
Okay.
So I am going to take that.
So I like all the Barton props tonight.
Oh, wow.
I like over 4.5 rebounds for Barton. I like over 3.5 assists. Look, Monte Morris and Jamal Murray are out. First game that Monte was out, and Barton goes for 28, 6, and 7. I don't think that's an accident that he got 7 assists. Also, he's playing in Portland tonight. He's going to show up for this game. He's going to come out gunning just like he was against Memphis.
Jokic's points, rebounds, and assists is 49.5. That might be the highest it's ever been.
That's high. That's so high. But, I mean, he can get it. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's been getting it. Like, Jokic does everything. 29.5 points, that's just such a high barometer that he has to get it in rebounds. Like, so now it has to be like a 16 rebound game, a 17 rebound game. And also, we had already talked about this being a game that that Portland really wants. They're going to make it a point to try to get it out of his hands. Like, they're just going to like maybe double team him at times. They're going to give him so many different looks that I would actually take the under for his points at 29.5, and maybe he gets it in points, rebounds, and assists, but I don't think he's going to score the ball the same way.
Yeah. The last bet, and then we got to get out of here, the one that I like, Aaron Gordon, 10.5 points tonight. Didn't play a lot. I don't think you can do this 2 games in a row. I also just feel like it's a game where maybe he takes a step back and is like, I got to assert myself in this one and make myself. 10.5 is so low. It's a really low bar. I think he clears it. The Nuggets need him to. So
yeah, we'll see.
You don't like that one, huh, Dev?
I do not like that one. I'm just going to stay away from him.
Well, stay away from me then.
Like and also, we already know how Michael Malone is. Like, you have to fight your way out of that doghouse. Like, if you're
you
in
think
it,
he's in the doghouse?
Not really in it, but you have to like prove yourself. And he proves a point. If you're not playing hard, if you're not playing well, we'll go with another guy. So Aaron Gordon gets off, like if he gets off to a quick start, then yes. If not, then it's like, okay, well, you already know where you're supposed to be.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to head now over to watch this game here at the DNVR Bar. Can't wait. We're going to be right back here in the post-game show, hopefully a winner's lounge. Hit the like button on your way out. We'll see you then.